Hello again. This video segment is going to be the bolt assembly part. So pretty much once you have the trigger, the outer barrel and everything unscrewed, you're going to be left with this. Then you can pretty much just take this bolt and take it out from the upper receiver here. The upper receiver will have this plastic ring. Just keep that in place by putting it up on the very front here by the threads and just dropping it in. Also, if your upper receiver is quite dirty, you can wipe it down and whatnot if you need to. Mine isn't, so I won't. Now onto the cylinder here. What you're going to want to do first is take off the cylinder head here, and to do that, you're going to want to wrap electrical tape around the nozzle, and then you can take pliers and gently, because you don't want to break it, you just squeeze it and then undo it like you would anything else. Luckily for me, I have a cylinder head removal tool that I made, so mine will be a bit faster. Okay, so once you got that off, you can take your cylinder head and set it off to the side, and then you can empty out these parts in here. So when you open this up, all the parts are either going to be super dry or super greasy. So if they're super greasy and dirty, you're going to want to wipe them off. And if you got an upgraded cylinder, you're going to want to take the screw in the back here and just unscrew that and take off the bolt handle, and then you can put that on your new cylinder if you'd like. Okay, let's put that out of the way. Now, once you have all your stuff wiped down, I didn't wipe mine down because this is fresh grease, I won't need to. Once you get it all wiped down, first thing you're going to want to do is take your spring guide here. This is obviously a metal spring guide. Metal spring guides are better because, for one, obviously they're more durable, but a lot of them come with ball bearings, which I really like. It prevents your spring from binding up. But if you have, or if you're going for a high FPS, like, I don't know, a little bit like 600 FPS or something like that, you won't want bearings, only because they have the potential to fail because they're just tiny little balls under a lot of tension, so chances are it's going to break. But under normal conditions, they work perfect. Okay. Anyway, once you got that all wiped down, take the cap. You're going to want to take your silicone lube and just spray a little bit in the bearings if you have bearings on yours. Okay. And then that does it for the spring guide. For your spring, I like to put lithium grease on it because it makes the bolt pull like 10 times easier. So that's just what I like to do. So yeah. So you can just smear some on like I have here. You don't need too much. And then you don't need to do much with the piston. You can, once you've got the O-ring and up here clean and stuff, you can put some lithium grease on it. Helps a lot. Okay, and once you got all those components greased and lubed, you can take your cylinder, and if you're not replacing your cylinder, and if it's like super dirty inside, you can wipe it out with a towel. I won't need to because mine isn't dirty at all. And then you're going to want to take just your lithium grease again and just smear some on the inside around where the piston goes. And then that pretty much does it. You can put all your stuff back in, so you can take your spring on top of your spring guide, except for if you have a Lilac spring, at one end they have tighter coils, and if that's what you have, you're going to want to put that towards the spring guide. Just make sure of that. And then you can take your piston and slide it right on top here. Take this entire assembly and just put it back into the cylinder with the spring guide facing down. Just make sure that the spring is on the spring guide. I've done it numerous times, and there's been some times where I got my gun all back together and I realized that the spring wasn't on the spring guide, so make sure you have that on there, okay? Now, you can put that to the side for now. The next component that you're going to want to focus on is the cylinder head. This one's quite dirty, so if yours is dirty as well, you're going to want to take your paper towel, very handy, and wipe off any grease and dirt in the threading, just anywhere, I guess. Have a nice clean part. Okay, once you have that, this is a simple mod that I like to do that improves air compression a whole lot, and that is just taking regular Teflon tape and just wrapping around the threads here, so that when you screw this back in, it almost has just about a perfect seal, I guess, depending on what piston you have, but yeah, so I'll wrap this up here. There's a lot of these guides on the internet and stuff about how to do these mods. I got mine off of, I believe it's TFC's Ultimate Airsoft Sniper Guide. Highly recommend that you check that out. It has a lot of information. I believe it's on Airsoft Society. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Then you're just going to take your Teflon tape and just wrap it around the threads gently here. You only want 1 or 2 wraps, only because if you have too much on there, it's not even going to close up properly. But yeah, I usually cut the excess Teflon tape around the edge here, just so it's not hanging out and getting caught on the piston and stuff, but I won't do that, I'll just leave it. Then you just take the cylinder head and just place it on top of the piston here that's sticking out, and you can just push it in and start screwing it. Oops. Kind of wrapped on. It's also handy if you, when you have your Teflon tape, if you wrap it the opposite way you're screwing, which I mistakenly just didn't do there, but whatever, just so it doesn't come undone while you're screwing on your stuff. Let's take that extra stuff off there. Whatever. Okay, and then you can take your cylinder and just stick it back into the upper receiver here and put that on, and then make sure that plastic ring is still on there. And that concludes the bolt assembly video. Thanks for watching.